shedding schedules and everything. But thank you for attending. I'm sure this morning I'm going to bring you something that you can think about and that you can use. And there's a reason why we introduce again. Today we're going to discuss the 135 and the 411. And it is not new. You've heard it before. You are still going to hear it a couple of times in your Keller Williams journey. And the more you're going to dive into it and leverage these tools, that's the success part. And remember this, 135, 411s all read with the MREA. So the objectives that I kind of want to get through this morning is utilizing principles of control. Set goals with the 135 and the 411, and then touch on maximizing your productivity with the right activities, if I can put it like that. And we're going to touch on being that accountability. And this is what I find happens. The agents run, and then they get moeg. I've had 4 transfers now that are going through. My bank account is lacquer. There's an extra 5,000 Rand to make this happen. And then it's like, oh, now I need to start again. That curve in starting again, that's what we call winterization for every agent, is what we need to revisit and relook at so that you can be aware of it, that you don't land in that winterization. So winterization should be really a 3-week period or so for an agent. But it happened because if you look at the seasons and the time frames of transfers in South Africa, and you look at how many school holidays and public holidays, we actually only have a 10-month a year in real estate. So I want to take a little step back and talk about utilize the principle of control. So prime time. What is prime time? Prime time is your most productive time of the day. Now, for everybody, it could be different. Others are better, and this is what I've said to so many before. Not all of us do have the ability to sit for 3 hours and do lead generation. Break it up. Because you do have a lead generation plan, you should surely know, I want to focus on phoning all the people on Bobbejaan Street this morning, and I want to focus on everybody that's new on private property, Property 24, new listings that came in. So you need to determine what is your prime time in the day for your lead generation and getting on with the right activities. The 80-20 principle is a pattern of predictable imbalance in life. I'm going to say it again. It's a predictable imbalance in life. It's the what is that guy's name? The Italian that planted the beans, and then he saw it came up, and it became more. And then if you focus on the right activities, you will have the right results. And so we are going to now talk more in depth about the 80-20 principle. And then E2P, entrepreneurial to purposeful, a powerful concept of actually controlling your time and understanding, almost like I want to tie in to say, what are you worth per hour again? That is where we come getting the most out of your 24 hours. Okay. So just a little bit on this principles of control. I want you to ask the question, why don't more people live by the 80-20 principle? It's counterbalanced. Now that you know there's something that is going to throw you the other way around, why would you want to explore it and dive into it? Listen, the truth is 20% of your efforts generates 80% of the results, and that is money. So it is important how you spend your 20% of the effort. It's really a lot of people, it takes them time to understand the 80-20 principle. And once that penny drop and the scale went the other way, and you're going to see the effectiveness in your bank account, it's going to change the next year's goal setting, what you want to achieve. Why should you care about it? Because it really applies to all aspects in your life. Everything. Relationships, bank accounts, building houses, the effort you're putting into it. You know, if you look at an architect and the plan that they've got around building a home and setting it up, it is a lot of planning. And if you put the effort into the proper planning, the actual building happens automatically. And I want to bring it back to that word lead generation. The only job you have is lead generation. May I repeat myself? The only job you have is lead generation. The more leads, the quicker conversions, the quicker the money in the bank account. We are going to discuss the conversations again. Now, a little bit again about the principles of this control. You know, all agents, like I said before, devote 3 to 4 hours of their day to lead generation. That's your only job. And why can you not make it yours, is what I want to almost say. If everybody else in Keller Williams that's been on the stage and that has won all these awards, and they all tell you the story, stick to the lead generation, stick to the Roy Bookie. I always say, if you can read, you can bake a cake. Read the red book 3 times. We discussed it right in the beginning of the call, where we said you are going to ignite this year again, and then you are going to ignite next year. Every top producer ignites once a year to bring them back to the activity again. And then they're going to say to you is the MREA book clubs. Just because every book club or topic is where you can spend time on that specifics that you need in your business, the budget model, the economic model. In any case, you know, the 3 L's. 10 a day. Here is the 66-day challenge sheet. And right at the top, it says, okay, habit is your spiritual, your physical, your personal, key relationships, jobs, business, financial life. And it says they circle only one that you want to change in the next 66 days. And I think we said it 2 weeks ago as well. The biggest gift I can give you today is to say to you is to maximize that hourly, that, you know, that daily 24 hours, to get the best out of every hour, is just 10 people to your database a day. The 10 falls again. Just 10 people in your database for 66 days. Believe you me, the conversation you and I are going to have in 90 days is going to sound completely different. Now, for me, I am 9 recruits away from my goal for 2022. But it doesn't mean that's where I need to stop, because I'm busy also chatting to a team in Zimbabwe and Seychelles. We're expanding more. It means I'm actually going to get to that 16. Now I'm thinking 16 people in before the end of the year is going to bring us to 77 agents. Let me think about this. Why can't we push them to 85 or 90? And now this is what I need to fix. Is the lead generation of quality R2 people that we want to be in business with. We've touched now on the 80-20. You understand that you need to get on with the right things every hour of the day. That man that, you know, he took Nissan from a minus years ago, and then he took it to a multi-billion profitable business again. Years ago, I went to listen to him, and in one of the things he said, to be successful, do what you have to do every second of the day, even if you don't want to. And that brings to that entrepreneurial and purposeful. And in one of the Ignites or MREA trainings, when we were discussing the 6 personal perspectives and we came to entrepreneurial and purposeful, I told the story about you do get those beautiful agents. Dressed to the T, groot BMW, groot all over the bus stops, all over the dustbins, alles. The most sexy foiled business card you will see. But it doesn't list houses and it doesn't get it sold. But it's eiendomsagent. It really makes a business card look great. This is not why we're here. This is really not why we're here. You need to see the other part, moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. It's lovely to be an entrepreneur, but if you're not purposeful and there's not money coming through the bank account, then you so much just have a shop. Punt. There's nothing else to it. And now the entrepreneurial, the E is what comes naturally to you, and it's easy. For you, like doing it. You know how to do it. It's comfortable to do it. It's it's seats of your pants almost, kind of doing like, yeah, I can do this over and over and over, but you're not sort of stretching yourself. You can be entrepreneurial at sports, cooking, fixing cars, or whatever. And you can add more and more people, and you can just be around. But the P is harder, takes effort. Might take more learning, more practice, more discipline. There's the black line of the ceiling. It's like when you've reached that point, and I'm going to give you an idea here. I'm going to use you as an example purely because I want to create the picture of you see where you state, you focused on your area, you know your stock, you take your mandate, you don't take an offer when it is at the right terms. That's the experience that are happening. You are in control of it. But at a point, you're learning so much and you're getting so established and the conversions are happening. There's probably going to come a point where Inai is going to say, sure, I have got now this rhythm and routine. I've got my business now happening, like and see word. Now it's time to grow, get more people maybe. Going to reach that ceiling or going, but Inai, you are so good at this. Why would you want to be happy with 2 units a month? Why can't you change it into 4? But something has to shift and move. That's why that P, to break that ceiling and go to the next level, is not. And this is what I've seen of people coming into real estate or into Keller Williams, is they run like a V8 bucky, and then we sometimes, especially the rookies, get to a point and then they realize, okay, but I can do this. I don't need Keller Williams. Let me go this way. Then they think now they are smart in this entrepreneurial. The ceiling to break to be purposeful is to go and start their own companies. And I just want to mention that they don't stay, very limited people that stay around for much longer. It might take also new ways of doing that you are probably uncomfortable with. Harder lead generator, harder conversations, better conversations about pricing. But P is when you really shine. When new opportunities open up for you, a new business then just starts coming your way. Luister, when you are in that full purpose, living in the now, yeah, realizing I need to focus on my activities, just do the following, and I'm going to see this result. But I also have to do 10 leads added to my database on a daily basis. Because why? I have to do gross commission of 120,000 on the 25th of the month. It's not going to happen if there ain't leads. And if there ain't leads, there ain't going to be listings. Now that you know the 80/20 principle, and Rolo has awakened the lion in you so that you can, after this call, go and look at your life and going, wait, I need to focus on these 10 leads and on the right activities. But, and I don't want to just be an entrepreneur, someone just hanging around to make a business card look sexy. I want to be purposeful and be accountable for every hour of the day because I need to get on with my 66-day challenge. Before you can do all of this, you have to have your 135 and your 411. No Keller Williams agent became that Roy Bookie agent, the millionaire real estate agent, without a business plan, a cash flow plan, a marketing plan, and the 135 and the 411, which is the combination of all of it. If you listen to every successful person out there, normally by the 10th minute, when they are in their motivational talk, you will hear it. I always write my goals down, which is something you need to revisit. You know, people do these vision boards, etc. Please have your vision board. And I've had this where people say, oh, Rolo, I started on the 135 and the 411, but I don't know what else to do. The attention is in the detail because the more you dissect it, the more you're going to have the answers for it. It's almost like goals have to have teeth. You know, they must be smart. It's like, I want to lose weight. That's not a smart goal. What is the limit to it? How much weight do you want to lose? What is the parameters around it that we're going to follow? The the way less one, and not the Herbalife diet, argumentatively. And I think we sometimes forget about this: work smarter, not harder. And that's where I want to come back to the winterization, so that if you're aware of the harder and you're realizing, but Shabbat, I'm running around in the 80 and I only get 20% of the results, is where you have to go, oh, and come back to this smarter, specific, measurable, action orientated, realistic, and time bound. What I mean with losing weight is the specific means the detail. I will lose 20 kgs in 6 months by going to an exercise class and following the Herbalife diet. I want to bank 500,000 in the next 6 months net, which will mean I will have to list 5 houses a week and sell 3 a month. It must be measurable. 20 kg, 6 months, 3 times a week. There I've had it. You must be, and that's why we say, track your numbers the whole time. What is my appointments? What is my conversion? How many leads did I add? And that's, that accountability again. You're a business owner. If you owned the Spar tops in Beaconwood today, surely by 5 o'clock you're going to do a cash up. There was this morning 16 bottles of brandy, 13 sold. This is the profit we made out of it. Does it make sense? Listen, it must be action orientated. Like this, I'm going to go to this extra, I'm going to do the Herbalife. And it's lovely to type these things and say, I revisit it. But say what you mean and mean what you say is what it boils down to. And realistic. I've sat in conversations where I've listened to people and then, and I listen to that 135 and they type it and they what. And then I was almost like, I want to say, okay, now that you've got your 135 and your 411, let's start implementing the 66-day challenge. Then they come at day 5, day 6, and they go, hierdie plannetjie was too big for me to eat. Look, they do say, how do you eat an elephant? Happy for happy. Okay. And it's not like, okay, no, stop now the 66-day challenge. Let's gear that 5 days up. Let's print another one and start again. And it's always time bound. 66 to you, yeah. 411, 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. There's another one. 30, 60, 90. It's all time bound. And listen, this is available in the MREA page 216, 217. The 8 goal categories for that agent. And when you're now going to do your 135, because we tend to have personal goals and things in the 135, and we also have to relay it and sync it with our business. Leads. First, you need to know how many leads. If the average selling price in Seaward Estate is 3 million and Inay does 6% commission, she's going to get X amount. For her to be able to do X amount for the year, she probably needs 60 new contacts or listings and convert them in X. I'm just using numbers as an example so that you can understand to know how many leads do you need. Listings. If there wasn't Seaward Estate 60 sales last year and Inay wants to have a 10% market share to achieve 2.5 million gross commission, she's probably going to do 10%, 6 units. How many do you need to close? They're not all necessarily always going to go through. There is a fallout ratio. You have to understand your money. That cash flow we discussed. Every cent must be kept accountable for. Then in your goal setting, the people, the husband's doing this, the people I'm going to get, the children plan, the this, the that. Systems and tools. I am only going to use KWH and private property and my boards and this sheet as the operational plan for my business. You can't use them all at the same time. If you can, you magic. Little bit. That's why we 30, 60, 90. And then we look at our plan, we revisit it, and then we follow through again with a new one or adjusted better one. Education. Every successful person and every millionaire must, in minute 10, they say to you, "Yeah, I write my goals down." Their closing statement is always, but I'm forever learning based. And every day I learn more about myself and attending courses and reading books and listening to types of podcasts. The 6 personal perspectives again. Are you all okay? Oh, I think my audience has now taken coffee and ran away.
No, we're here listening to you.
Oh, I say, does it make sense, Renee? Is there something valuable that clicks and it makes you feel like, oh, Renee, maybe this, maybe that?
Absolutely. To take it one step at a time. You can't spread yourself too wide because then you spread yourself thin
Yes.
and then you break. I need to learn my systems that's coming up now. And I've really got to become a super user on edge because some of it sounds like Anthony or Robbie said this morning, Greek.
Wow. Did you hear what Renee has just said? That big thanks for sharing, Renee. She has to be learning based now and dive deeper into edge because that is again a system that's for the leverage to help you to be in contact with all these leads that you need at the end of the day. And now that you know I've only got X amount of hours a day that I need to focus on the right things, we're going to discuss that now. So the 135 or GPS is what they also call it: goals, priorities, strategies. And the 135 is your one goal, your three priorities, and the 5 strategies under them. Please, everybody has got a production folder, and it is available in the agent toolkit to download. So I want to be naughty and ask you, Rossi, het jy 'n 135 al in 'n 411?
Ek het nog nie, Rolo.
Dankie. Nou weet jy sommer vandag wat waar om te begin bietjie. As jy nou met Elke praat en sê vir Elke, Rolo het op my gepik in die klas, toe sê hy vir my, my 135 en my 411 is my volgende stap. Kan jy my help?
Ek het daarom al begin met die 135.
Mooi.
En toe raak ek besig met ander goed en ek vergeet om klaar te maak.
Assai. Okay. Daar's honesty is your worst policy. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing, Rossi. I bet you there's others on the call that also probably go, I did fill it in halfway and then I went, whatever you resist, persist. I'm not an admin person and I don't want to type my things down or write it down.
Yeah,
and thanks, Rossi. Listen, the 135 GPS is an annual planning tool, usually done at the end of the year so that you can prepare for the year ahead. So whether you work your year Jan to Feb or Jan to December, or you work at your renewal to renewal, a year is a year. Ideally, it must be rather. I have found, because the more experienced agents that are sort of as experienced, they've been with Keller Williams 3 years and longer, they're now getting in that momentum and the understanding this paperwork and the method and the madness. So, but just get going with it is ideally you should plan a January to December. Listen, and it also allows you to set that one goal, that one thing, that decide on the things that you want to make happen. And it moves you towards that goal if there's a plan in it. And what's difficult for the people is the priorities and the strategies. What are the 3 most important priorities I need to get on with? And what is my strategies of achieving that? Please relook at your 135. The 411, listen, this is to structure your time. It's to managing your activities, which will obviously improve your productivity. And if you look at on that sheet, your job, your financial, your education, your personal life, there is in the 411 for everything a section. And that is the hardest, is the 411. I get guilty there. I'm guilty there. Because then I'm like, okay, I've done now 3 days lead generation. I've met 30 new agents. I love the auntie in Douglasdale and the one in Rustenburg. And now I'm going to cultivate them and what. Okay. Like you chasing leads for mandates and sales. I chase agents like a soul mandate to be part of us to close the deal. But then there's the training, and then there's the load shedding, and dan het ek schemes in my kop like, that wall I want to paint. Then I invite to dryers and I buy paint, and then I get busy for the afternoon with things. Haven't seen this friend. So then things just runs away. And whatever you erase, actually, you need to replace. And that honesty towards yourself is the hard one. And to go back to it and to go, oh, Rolo, you see, there you went drinking with your guys. Oh, Rolo, you went shopping and painting there. The effect is you are going to short 40,000 Rand in X amount of days to be able to do that. Dis wanneer jy nou so kwaad raak vir jouself en geïrriteerd raak met jouself. Ask the questions. What is it that I want to accomplish? If you know exactly by 5 o'clock when you cash up to have that, lekker gevoel. at month end, lekker, alles is betaal en ons geld oor en ek kan R3000 spaar vir die Kersbokse. And I brought my banking fees down. I revisited my insurance policy. Does that make sense? Do you hear the ways I want you to think about? How am I going to achieve these goals and plans? Losing the weight, getting a law degree, selling 60 houses, penetrating this Port Edward market. And ask yourself, when do I want to accomplish it? That's a big one. Because that cowboy eat and run method is not going to bring you effective hourly rate. You want to be so smart that you can almost work a 4-day week and live a 7-day week life. Just on the 411 is that first start the 135, then the 411, and then you're going to sort of fix the 135 when you realize the activities needs to be adjusted. So the first thing is that big rock. I want to X. Right? What is that monthly thing? To be able to achieve the 125 to tie in with my 1.6 for the year so that I can cap in September and earn 92% from X to X. Means I have to list 2 houses this week. I have to sell 1 this week or every 10 days. Plan 1 week at a time. Just to get into the habit to see your week, that 5 a.m. club we spoke about earlier. Visualize the day. Visualize the week. See yourself sit there phoning private property because I want Juanita's new listing in Lombardy, argumentatively. Identify 6 to 8 key measurable activities. Now, I looked at the 6 to 8 and why the 6 to 8 again, like the 66 to 30, 60, 90? Why the 6 minimum? Because there's always the 80-20 principle that some of them are going to fall off and we're not going to follow through with it. And some others are going to eat more time and ability from us as human. So make sure that you pick the best 6. This. And if you want, fill it in. Bounce it off me. Send me the screenshots and say, Rolo, does this 135 plan of me or the 411 make sense? If I do this week, phone all the fat people that live next to the highway, south of the sea, north of the mountain. Argumentatively. Is it at least entertaining, the descriptions I'm trying to use? Do you get a little giggle? And are you visually seeing what I'm trying to explain? Do you laugh at least, Wade?
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm still here, Rolo. Don't worry.
Complete your 135 in the 4th quarter. Fill your goals in the 411 before January. Why? I will not tell you the story if I haven't had the first-hand experience myself with these tools as a team leader, as a lead agent when I was still actively selling, and as your business consultant. I've spent time listening to people, and in January, that guilt for all the geld that we spent in December and the amount of weight we've put on, and was that New Year's resolution. The reality of it when you do it in January, it's going to start moving south in February. I don't want to be a doom prophet or negative speaking. I want to just tell you what other people have had from first-hand experiences. Each month into the new activities to complete. Each week into detailed activities. It must be as detailed as possible. It's like when you're doing your listings. It's not a gas stove. It is a 4-plate, multi-chromed Aga gas stove. Does that make sense? So maximize your productivity. Now that we've spoken about the 80-20, you need to know what you need to focus on. You need to have a 135, a 411, and that's how your hourly rate will be so powerful that you will feel by cash up 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I've done this and I can do it again tomorrow. Accountability. Report your activities and progress to someone else. We talk about Mo Anderson, and it's a couple of times in Keller Williams. We talk about the 5 people. Your business person you have to speak to, your spiritual person, your financial person, your business accountability partner. And then there's the personal relationships, the emotional relationship. So, and hear me out, it's not necessarily your husband or wife that can be all of it. We all have a best friend. If you don't have a best friend or a guy, I'll be your best friend. I'm actually a fun, nice person. So please make me then your friend if you don't have friends. And tell them, my business, I actually achieved the following what. Please phone me next week and ask me how's it going in my business. Rely on support groups. I'm still going to find the super magic that we in a virtual world we do feel that interaction, but it's not as real as when we touch and we sit and we hug. But you need to leverage these groups, these people, these like your prayer group. If you live, I'm getting my spiritual chutzpah from my prayer group, which fills me. I get my accountability and coaching for me to be better from my MAPS coach from America. I do discuss the joys of my business of Pivot with my best friend, where I'll say to us, yo, Elizabeth, you've got no idea. This is our number for the month. This is the great agents I brought in. So what's now becoming a conversation is when we see one another, it's like, then she'll say to me, Boetie, how's business? And I'll go, nee, ek het hierdie lekker agent, so het soveel miljoen gedoen, what. That is the pattern for the next 66-day challenge. Accountability always improves performance. Please type it out, put it on your fridge, put it on your forehead, put it on your phone as a background. Accountability always improves performance. And then reward yourself. Now, I'm not saying if I get it right for 2 weeks, please go buy a BMW. No. Or mustn't necessarily be a money factor. For a lot of people, some form of reward in the money thing is important. So here's my thing. A reward thing argumentatively would be, because Shawnee and I love road tripping and traveling. We are the type of people, I'll be on a Thursday, I'll say to him, okay, how about we pop away for the weekend? And I'll do this with a map. And I said for him, we're on our way to Ventersdorp, baby. So that's a reward for me, is getting out there, getting to know people and places. And so, again, it must be a realistic reward. To implement and to be able to follow through everything I've waffed about this morning to bring to you. Time blocking. And everybody says to me, oh, Rolo, I can't. Then the reminder goes off. Then 9 o'clock, I need to do this. And then I feel guilty when it's 12 o'clock and I just want to go to the loo or quickly to Spar and buy something. And time blocking is a very powerful management tool. Protect hours and times in your calendar. Block it out. Be selfish about it. That's okay. So that you can focus and get the most out of every day and every hour. Remember that story. I need to first get on with all of this because it's going to have an implication in my business and in my life. More money, more opportunity. And 20% of the effort generates 80% of the results. Tell everybody that, listen, I have got huge goals. It's almost like Renee must say to her best friend, Scotty, we can't go and walk on the beach from 10 to 12 and discuss all the people north of the highway. I then have to look after my business and carry on like a like a V8 bucky, lead generating and getting to know all the people in Langstraat and in Kortstraat. Argumentatively. Keys to successful time blocking is it must be purposeful, it must be thoughtful, diligent, and consistent. Rhythm and routine. Success is not sudden, it is sequential. It's presies vir dit. No point in you phoning everybody on your phone that you met at the hiking club, where you could have rather be more purposeful in that hour and phone all the people that have got 2 houses from the current Engel and Volkers listings. It's going to have a better result than discussing everybody in the hiking school. And here's the story about handling interruptions. And hear me out. It happens to all of us. We refer to your bunker. Waar's jou bunker? Hoe lyk jou shoppie? Where do you sit? How's the desk? Where's the children's nice photos? Where is my water thing where I can gooi and make my notes? And the easiest thing that can just take you off the rail is another phone call. So now I've been sitting here lead generating, looking for stock, and I'm really focusing for this 2 hours on finding these new listings on Facebook and getting to know that there's the all of a sudden my chummy from Australia phones. Where does that hour go? South. And don't say to me you don't have drop-in visitors. We all have that somebody that'll phone and say, "Hi, ek is amper by Cosmos se hek, stuur vir my 'n kode." Then I'm thinking, oh my word. Nee? We all have that. And that's where it's going to bring me to the next slide is protect your time, and that's habits to cultivate. It's not like you're going to learn it over time. You have got the right to say no. And use it politely. Clarify why you are saying no. Sorry, my Scott, I can't go walk with you on the beach. This is really, I need to get on with it. You know, I need to bank R500,000 by December because in 3 years' time, I'm moving to Australia to my daughter. Thanks for playing. Be polite and firm. Listen, and you know, no is a complete sentence. No is no. Klaar. And there must always just be an alternative. My Scott, if I've done the walking, all my business activities, how about Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, we do that walk for 2 hours? Win or no deal. All parties are winning. So this delegate one is not always that easy, but I want to bring it in so that you can look at so many times, so many listings, so many conversions. But die kind moet gehaal word, the listing must get loaded, this must happen, there's always that extra overflow. Again, leveraging of people so that you can get the most of your hours in a day. Allow the person to own it. Moses, please can you do the following for me? The garden must be done this. Establish the way we communicate. Nee? Not and be available. You know, when you delegate things, if I say be available, don't let that phone call now disrupt you when they phone and go, "Hello, I'm standing in Pick and Pay. They only have stock Margarine, are you happy with it, or should I drive to Checkers to get you Blossom? No. Avoid reverse delegation. What I mean with it, you do have people that are great at delegating, and then there's a way how they've delegated it to person A, and person A has got a way of delegating it back, and then you're just landing up at point number one again. Listen, and in your business as well, when people are helping you with things, share the credit, celebrate it, make sure you pick the right people that you want to get in business with, and that you use for your accountability partners. You can't change these people the whole time, because there has to be a pattern first. Clear instruction has never killed anybody. You can rather ask 3 times, do you understand? And the outcome, set the outcome and assign the deadline and explain the why and the what. Sweetie, I really want you to do Pick and Pay, please. Otherwise, the almost are not going to eat this week, number one. Because I have to onboard this agent from the Free State. I will have to do the following because that's in my plan. Somebody has to go to Pick and Pay, otherwise the owners are not going to eat. Is there a couple of extra pennies that are dropping with you where you already feel there's a couple of smarter ways of thinking I'm going to implement so that my hours in the day is more effective? Procrastination. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Whatever you resist, persist, sits there like the little devil on your shoulder. And if you don't deal with it and you don't handle it, it's going to sit there. Because once you've realized that, oh, I'm resisting this because that is not going to be the greatest experience, use the 411 very well, especially with procrastination. I have to do this to be successful. Do what you have to do every second of the day, even if you don't want to. And I know it's all these mindset brainwashing things, but that's the fact of it, right? Obstacles. Listen, you must always be a little bit flexible if you are dealing with obstacles. Like all the people in Bobbejaan Street doesn't want to talk to me argumentatively, or the load shedding, or there's so many little things I can think about. But protect yourself also by recognizing your own vulnerabilities and have a plan to move beyond these common setbacks. This is like a little bit of open heart surgery. I want you to go and think about your hourly rate and your effectiveness and your ability and use these Keller Williams tools. There's so many things and opportunities to gear for what is ahead for the remainder of the year. Get a jump on the world and tend to these 5 areas. Meditate and pray. That 5 in the morning, whenever you want to, that spiritual energy. Please plan. There is only 12 effective hours that you can be cognitively aware in this world. So please plan accordingly around. Energize and eat. There is agents that I know that they're not fond of eating. You need to love and hug and be in that space of love. Plan, be aware. Use your brain, mental energy, and lead generators business energy. And enough put in there, all of this is done by 11 o'clock so that we can still do other things. I know it sounds scary to think I get up at 5, I do this, I lead generate, I match, and then by 11 o'clock, most of the business is done. Scary, but let me tell you, it's been done successfully over and over, and even in the South African market by top producer agents. Anushka Libba, she introduced Inai to Keller Williams. She will tell you lead generation is the breakfast of champions. I get up, I then attend to this, then I just lead generate and speak to the people because they want to hear Anushka's voice. And she only does appointments. Scary. She works a 4-day week to live a 8-week life, if I can almost put it like that. Any questions? Any ahas? I'm 1 minute over time. Anybody that I can answer something for. Does it make sense to plan, to time block, to be energized, be aware of every hour of the day? Yes, Inai, please talk to me.
Rolo, I don't know. I can just say this was like a smarty box for me. Thank you.
You're welcome, my Scott. I love it if somebody can take something where you're going to put the phone down and sit and have a coffee and going, what happened now? I need to take a step back and go and revisit where I am. Because, and I say I, purely because the I is the starting point of this entire ripple effect. And it's only the I that can be accountable to my life at the end of the day, or, in your case, your life. And that's the big moment, is that like, oh, how to put it all together? Little bit, bicky. Yes, wait. Thanks, Inai, for sharing and being vulnerable. Wait, the floor is yours.
Thanks very much, Rolo. Today's lesson was actually fantastic in terms of what we're going to need to plan our 66-day challenge. And, you've given us some lovely tips on how to go about planning each of our days and everything like that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well done, Wade. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else? Guys, I really thank you for your time being here this morning. Next week we'll be doing win-win negotiations, and that book of Gary Flip, where he talks about, and then his other book with Jay Papazanis, Invest. So I'm taking the best highlighted parts of the two, and I'm busy combining it in slides. So I want to start off with win-win negotiations, and then touch on those books of Gary, just to bring you, like Jessica said when she was on the call, that pages 9, 10, 11 of the shift is almost the script, the shift book that you're going to use for the next 6 months on buyers and sellers. At the same time, like we're going to do the auction training, I want to do a touch on these books of Gary, the Invest and the Flip, purely to empower you that when you are speaking to clients, other agents, you can either send them the shift book. They're all in the KW library and agent toolkit. And now that you're going to have an insight on the flip and that investor book, when you speak to that investor, you're going to say, my friend, please, I'm going to send you this PDF book, either email or WhatsApp. Pages this and this and this is the highlighted parts of that investor book, just to bring you a new perspective on the purpose of investing. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a fabulous day. And I'll see you Friday morning at the Facebook training with Corlia.
Dankie, Rolo.
Dankie julle. Oh, there's another raised hand. Inai, please talk to us. Thanks,
Quick one. Rolo, you mentioned that we need something about command for Friday's training. I'm not on command. I'm now focusing on the edge. Is it essential that I am on command before attending Friday's training?
Not at all.
Okay.
Inai, do you have a Facebook profile?
It's historic, so I have to. This is why I would like to really focus on that, because that is the new marketing tool. I'm fully aware of that.
So Corlia emailed me yesterday. I haven't read the entire email. She said to me, Rolo, is there one of your agents that I can use as a dummy, not as a dummy, to set up their Facebook page? Because what the training on Friday is going to be, how to set up, where to capture, how
I would love that. I would love that.
Ek gaan vir jou Corlia se nommer stuur.
Perfect.
En dan gaan ek vir haar boodskap stuur en vir sê ek het met Inai gepraat. Jy kan Inai vir die proefkonyn gebruik vir die training Vrydag. Check net met Inai dit en dat en feite en wat. Dan gaan sy jou gebruik om jou page op te stel, hoe om posts te schedule, hoe om WhatsApp boodskappe te kry van Facebook af. Sy gaan al daai dinge vir ons leer.
Oh, fantasties, wonderlik. Baie dankie, Rolo. Geseënde dag vir jou en beterskap, hoor.
Dankie julle. Thanks
Dankie,
Ras julle. Mooi
mes.
bly. Tata.